Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to weekend 2 of the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta. Here in this video, we are going to be discussing Black Ops 4 as a whole because as you guys know, the beta itself is set to end in just under 24 hours time, which means this is the final experience we are going to have with the multiplayer until the game officially comes out this October. Now, of course, we still have the Blackout Beta, which will be coming out this September, but that's Blackout, right? Blackout is completely separate from the multiplayer, so right now, pretty much everybody is scrambling to get as much playtime in as they possibly can, because it's going to be a long few months before Black Ops 4 officially releases. Treyarch has been doing a lot of things to the game this weekend. In fact, they've made so many changes to Black Ops 4 between Weekend 1 and Weekend 2 that it's actually been pretty difficult for me to make videos here for the channel. A good example of that would be yesterday, I had an entire review ready to go talking about all the changes going from Weekend 1 into Weekend 2 and talking about the game as a whole, and then I had to scrap the entire video because not 30 minutes after that video was finished did Treyarch drop a bombshell on us and revert all the movement changes that they made going in from Weekend 1 into Weekend 2. They've also made a bunch of other changes as well. They've nerfed pretty much every single submachine gun while simultaneously buffing certain aspects of different SMGs. They buffed up pretty much every single assault rifle. They buffed up the one light machine gun that we find here in the beta. They buffed up the shotguns. They have nerfed quickscoping. They have drastically buffed the lethal Scorestreaks. They've rebalanced, what was it, like 60% of the specialists? They've rebalanced a bunch of the perks, they've retuned a bunch of the gear, including body armor, and as if all that wasn't enough, they nerfed the movement, like I said, by reducing our jump height, with our slide distance, and our slide speed, all to revert those changes one day later and give us the same movement that we had back during Weekend 1. It's been such a cluster, they've been doing so much stuff to Black Ops 4, but now that it's Sunday, now that it's midday on Sunday, I should say, and it doesn't look like any more big changes are going to be happening, I think we're finally ready to sit down and discuss the Black Ops 4 multiplayer as a whole and tell you guys whether or not I personally think it's going to be a good year for the Call of Duty franchise. Now, before I get into it, I would like to ask you guys, leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section below. What do you think of the Black Ops 4 multiplayer so far? Because chances are the vast majority of you have played it by now. If you've been playing on PlayStation, you've had the beta for 2 weekends. If you play on Xbox or PC, you've had the beta for almost an entire weekend, and chances are the majority of you have put a good amount of time into the game, or at the very least, you've watched a lot of other people's reviews, or you've watched a lot of live streams or gameplay videos of the game. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about Black Ops 4 down there in the comment section below. But my personal opinion on the matter is I think the game is actually really good, and I'm surprisingly excited about the future of the game. Now, the reason why I say surprisingly is because when I first started playing Black Ops 4, I really didn't like it. I'll go as far as to say I hated the Black Ops 4 multiplayer. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know it's been an emotional week for me playing Black Ops 4, because when I first got it, I really did not enjoy the game whatsoever, but I stuck with it. I kept playing, and I kept learning the game, while simultaneously Treyarch kept updating the game based on community feedback. This is why we give feedback to developers, by the way. There are so many people out there who try to silence the entire community by saying that you should not complain whatsoever. Well, you should actually give feedback to the developers. That's the whole point of a beta, and in my opinion, all the changes they have made so far, well, I should say the majority of the changes they have made so far based on community feedback have actually made the game much better. Like, I feel as though the Black Ops 4 we see here in Weekend 2 is infinitely better than the one that we saw back during Weekend 1, and that has me very excited about the future of Black Ops 4, because if Treyarch works with the community as closely after the game comes out as they are during the beta, then I think it's going to be a very good year for the Call of Duty franchise. But that's coming from somebody who likes the core mechanics of the Black Ops 4 multiplayer. It's gotta be said, if you don't like the core mechanics of Black Ops 4, no amount of balance changes are going to change your mind. Like, if you don't like the specialists, right? If you don't like how they work or the equipment that they have, or if you don't like the 150 base health or the slow time to kill, then I'm not sure there's much they can do that will save this game for you. Now, we still haven't seen what the full game is going to have. They may have special modes where maybe the health goes back to normal, or maybe modes where specialists just don't exist, or maybe hardcore itself is going to be much different this year. For all we know, with the new health mechanics, hardcore could be, instead of 1 to 2 shots to kill, it could be 2 to 3 shots to kill, and feel like the Modern Warfare 2/Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. We really have no idea, but if you don't like the core mechanics of the Black Ops 4 multiplayer, then I'm not sure any amount of balance changes are going to change your mind. Like, for me personally, the balance changes completely changed my mind. Like, going into Weekend 2 here, the score streaks are so powerful now in this game, I absolutely love it. And I know some of you guys are going to say, Nero, what are you talking about? The score streaks suck. They do, but it's because of how the maps are laid out. That's the core issue when it comes to these score streaks here in Black Ops 4. They're all really powerful, but they don't really get to shine that much because the majority of the maps are set indoors. Like 80% of the time on any given map, you're usually going to be indoors. And also a lot of people are running around with Cold-Blooded because that's one of the very first perks you unlock, and people don't take the time to actually change their classes. So these streaks themselves, when they can work, they are actually very powerful. The AC-130 is insane. The strafing run is also very good. The Mantis is borderline overpowered. You look at the strike team, those guys are ridiculous. You put them on a hard point or you put them on a control point, they will just take out the entire enemy team. I love that update. I also love the fact that they rebalanced these submachine guns. I love that the rifles are now much more powerful. I love the fact that they tried to rework these spawns in Domination and Hardpoint, though I will say they didn't do the best job ever. Like, for me personally, like, my biggest criticism of Black Ops 4 so far, and it pains me to say this, but I really don't like Domination and Hardpoint. I thought I would going into Weekend 2 here, but I don't. I really don't like them that much. That's coming from somebody who loves Domination. For those that don't know, like, I've played Domination pretty much exclusively for the past decade. Like, even in Call of Duty World War II, how many videos did I make where I was just campaigning for Sledgehammer Games to change Domination from 50 points per kill up to 75 or 100? Like, I love that game mode, but I really don't like it here in Black Ops 4. To my core, I just don't like it. Hopefully, when the throwback maps are added to the game in October, the game will feel a little bit better, and maybe I'll like Domination then. But as of right now, I really don't like Domination and Hardpoint, even though they did try to make those game modes better by updating the spawn points. And again, I'd love to hear what you guys think about that down there in the comment section below. Do you personally think that Domination is now in a better place than Weekend 1? Because I would argue it's better now than Weekend 1, but it's still not that enjoyable of an experience, at least for me personally. I still spend pretty much all my time playing Control, as was Search and Destroy, as was Chaos Team Deathmatch. Those are where I personally feel as though Black Ops 4 shines, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about that down there in the comment section below, as well as what do you think of the movement that we find here in Black Ops 4, because that is something that I have been incredibly outspoken on, and it's something that makes me feel honestly disconnected from the community, because most of the time, the community and I, we see just eye to eye about pretty much everything, right? Like, if I talk about something in my videos, the vast majority of the time people agree, but this time around, people seem to really disagree, and it feels weird to be like on opposite ends of the fence from a lot of people in the community. So for those that don't know, the movement here in Black Ops 4 is what I'm going to call advanced movement light. Like, you can jump really high, you can slide really far, and you don't have jetpacks, right? We don't have exosuits or anything, but you can move around a lot more in this game as compared to a game like Call of Duty World War II, or even Black Ops 2, or Black Ops 1, or Modern Warfare 2, or Modern Warfare 3, or pretty much all of those old school Call of Duty games. As a result, I talked about in my review a couple of times actually that I would like to see the movement toned down a little bit, and Treyarch ended up doing that because a lot of people held the same opinion after playing Weekend 1, but going into Weekend 2, a lot of people were saying that the movement felt a little bit too nerfed. They were saying that it felt a little bit slow, and as a result, Treyarch decided to pretty much revert all of the movement changes by making it so we could jump just as high as we could back during Weekend 1, and they also increased the speed as well as the distance that we can slide. But the caveat to all of this is they removed our ability to bunny jump, and that's actually their phrase. It's in the patch notes, link to the patch notes down there in the description, but they made it so if you jump over and over, you no longer do it at maximum height. Like, each subsequent jump is going to be shorter than the one before it, which is a good change in my opinion. And overall, I personally would like to see the movement toned down a little bit. I personally thought that what we saw here at the very beginning of Weekend 2 was pretty much perfect, but there are lots of people out there who disagreed with that, and so as a result, Treyarch decided to make these changes, and honestly, I can deal with them. It's not as if this is the end of the world or anything like that. It's just not how I personally would do things, but by and large, I am very happy with the majority of the balance changes that Treyarch has made so far to Black Ops 4, and the game itself is growing on me a lot. Like, I didn't think I was going to like it that much after we learned it was going to be semi-futuristic, after we learned it was going to heavily involve specialists and all sorts of specialist abilities, and they're going to be changing up the health mechanics and the healing mechanics. I wasn't sure how well the game was actually going to play out, but after getting up to, what was it, level 34 on the PlayStation during Weekend 1, and then 40 on the Xbox One here during Weekend 2, I'm very happy to say that the game itself has grown on me quite a bit. I really do enjoy the Black Ops 4 multiplayer, and I think the same is true for a lot of other people out there. I have seen so many reviews over the course of this past week. Like, when I'm not playing this game, I'm watching other people play it. I'm watching YouTube videos or live streams or reading reviews or watching reviews, and I can remember seeing so many reviews from people saying, this is the worst game ever, I hate Black Ops 4, and then 1 or 2 days later, they're posting another review saying, okay, maybe I overreacted. It's an alright game. It started to grow on me quite a bit. And here during weekend 2, pretty much everybody is singing this game's praises because Treyarch really did do a good job of making the game better based on community feedback. So that's where I currently am with the Black Ops 4 multiplayer. By no means am I saying it's a perfect game. This game needs a lot of polish between now and October, and who knows how it's going to be when it actually releases in October. If history is any indicator, it's probably going to be a mess. Like, Call of Duty at launch is always a mess. Like, World War II last year was probably the worst we've had in a very long time, and I imagine Black Ops 4 is going to be much worse. But the game itself, I personally feel as though it's fun, and that's where I currently am. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the game down there in the comment section below. Have you been enjoying the beta so far? Do you have high hopes for the game? Leave all your thoughts and feedback down there. And really quickly here at the very end of the video, I would like to discuss the graphics that we see here in Black Ops 4, which I know to some of you guys may sound weird, like, why are you talking about the graphics at the end of this video? It's because of my previous video. So if you guys didn't catch it, I did this video where I talked about whether or not Black Ops 4 was the laziest Call of Duty game of all time, which to a lot of people, kind of myself included, it is a rather strange situation because they have reused so many assets from Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, and since I made that video, things have actually gotten worse. Here in the beta, if you look at the colorblind options, it shows you Combine from Black Ops 3. Before they changed it, when you got a Mantis from a care package, it said Cerberus. Like, it seems like they really did copy a lot of things from Black Ops 3 when they made this game, including the graphics. But in that video, I tried to be as objective as possible. I tried to present both sides of the argument fairly, and a lot of people took that as I am defending the graphics that we see here in Black Ops 4, and I just want to make it very clear, I am just as disappointed as pretty much everybody else that we have 2015 graphics here in 2018. In fact, that's one of the things I really dislike about the Black Ops 4 multiplayer. I wish the game looked better than it does. Not to say that it's a terrible looking game, but I do wish there was more of a leap than what we see here with Black Ops 4, because again, the graphics are pretty much the same as what we saw back in 2015, which I think has disappointed a lot of fans out there. So just want to make that clear for you guys. I was trying to play devil's advocate throughout the majority of that video before giving my opinion at the end, and when I gave my opinion, I didn't really discuss the graphics all that much, therefore it confused a lot of people, so I want to make that as clear as possible for you guys at the end of today's video. But ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much all I have for you guys here today. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, leave all of your thoughts and feedback on the Black Ops 4 beta down there in the comment section below, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.